Educational psychology. Jean Piaget associated himself with the Binet testing laboratory in Paris. He opposed Binet's idea of defining intelligence in terms of the number of correct responses to the items contained in a particular intelligence test. Piaget defined intelligence as the ability to adjust, adapt, or deal efficiently with one's environment. According to Piaget, intelligence may be regarded to represent all those dynamic traits which help an individual to create optimal conditions for his survival under existing circumstances. He studied the intellectual laboratory studies. Piaget said that there are two aspects of the human mind. One is referred to as cognitive structure and the other as cognitive functioning. The initial cognitive structure of infants is supposed to incorporate only those cognitive abilities or potentials which help them to do such acts such as look, reach out, or grasp. Piaget named these abilities or potentials as schemas. Schema represents a unit of one's cognitive structure in the shape of a general potential to perform a particular class of behaviors like sucking, grasping, calculating, etc. The content of which is related to the conditions that prevail during any particular manifestation of that general potential. Schemas form the basic structure of the human mind. As a child grows with the interaction of physical and social environment, he is able to form different schemas, resulting in changes and modifications in his cognitive structure. Key to cognitive development is the interaction with an adaptation to the child's physical and social environment. Such adaptation to the physical and social environment is done through processes such as assimilation and accommodation. Assimilation refers to a kind of matching between the already existing cognitive structures and the environmental needs as they arise. Accommodation, as one tries to accommodate or adjust to new ways of thinking and behaving in place of assimilating or behaving in the same old fashion. Piaget postulated the concept of equilibration. The process of assimilation or accommodation helps the organism to adjust or maintain a harmonious relationship between himself and his environment. This adjustment mechanism was called equilibration by Piaget. Equilibration can be defined as an innate tendency or continuous drive on the part of an organism to organize its experiences through assimilation or accommodation for obtaining optimal adaptation to the changing demands of its environment by maintaining a proper balance between its cognitive structure and the changing demands of its environment. Points to remember: the biologically inherited reflexes and mental dispositions is the fundamental cognitive structure. The changes and development brought about in the cognitive structure through maturation, that is, it is the process of natural growth. The infant exhibits a limited number of uncoordinated reflexes such as sucking, looking, reaching, and grasping. The changes and development in the cognitive structure brought about through experiences, that is, through interaction with the physical and social environment, involving the processes of assimilation, accommodation, and equilibration. Piaget called the first stage of intellectual development as the sensory motor stage because it is characterized by the absence of language and it is limited to direct sensory and motor interactions with environment. During the next 4 months, the uncoordinated reflexes are coordinated into simple schemas. It provides the child with the general potential to perform certain classes of behavior. By the age of 8 months, the infant is able to react to objects outside himself. In pre-operational stage, the child begins to replace direct action in the form of sensory or motor exploration with symbols. This stage can be further subdivided into the pre-conceptual phase, approximately about 2 to 4 years, and the intuitive phase, approximately 4 to 7 years. Pre-conceptual phase is the period of the rudimentary concept formation. Mode of thinking and reasoning is quite illogical at this stage. It is neither inductive nor deductive but rather transductive in nature. The major characteristic of the intellectual structure of the child at this stage is concerned with his egocentric nature. It is clearly reflected in the absence in him of the two main cognitive characteristics, namely reversibility, the ability to reverse, and conservation, the ability to see an object as permanent even though its length, width, or shape changes.